Greetings from Research and More. This video introduces the concept of research proposal and highlights its importance. It focuses on the writing of a research proposal rather than developing research ideas for a proposal. A research proposal is a formal written plan which communicates ideas about a proposed study in order to obtain approval to conduct the study or to seek funding. A well-written proposal would be able to convince others, especially your examiners, that your proposed study is research-worthy and that you have the competence to complete the research project. A good research proposal should be able to capture all the elements of the research process. It also provides all the necessary information to allow full evaluation of the proposed study. No matter what your research domain is, or your choice of methodology, all research proposals must address these three questions. What do you want to accomplish with this study? Why do you want to carry out this study? And how are you going to carry out this study? To convince the assessors of your important research idea, be sure to provide all the necessary information and justifications for support. Show them that you have a good grasp of the literature and major issues relevant to the research problem. Impress them with your sound knowledge of the research methodology. The quality of your proposal is assessed based on both the quality of your written proposal and the quality of your research project. As such, it is in your best interest to write a proposal that is coherent, clear, and compelling. Writing a research proposal is a crucial phase in a postgraduate student's research journey. It serves as the foundation for the entire research. However, most novice researchers and new doctoral students tend to underestimate the importance of starting out well when writing their research proposal. Since your research is only as good as your proposal, it pays to start writing your proposal early, since a poorly written proposal may lead to more complex problems later. Prior to writing your proposal, these 4 steps should be observed. The first step is to select and confirm your research topic. When selecting a topic, be sure to apply some good judgments. For example, explore research ideas from several sources, like talking to experts and professionals in the field, looking for gaps in the literature, considering your keen interest in the topic, having high motivation to become a subject matter expert in the area, and able to justify a novel contribution to the thesis. Next is to check out your institution's thesis guidelines. This part is often overlooked by most research students. Get familiar with what is expected and required of you to achieve the standards set by the university. The guidelines also serve as a benchmark against the final assessment to determine whether you will be allowed to proceed with the research or not. Guided by your research topic, propose a working title. A working title helps to determine the parameters of your proposed study. It is the first indication of the focus of your proposal. As such, it should be able to precisely capture what your study is all about. And last but not least, visualize your concepts and ideas. A well-written research title should allow you and others to visualize your research concepts and ideas and guide you to reflect upon issues surrounding your proposed study. You may also consider using any mind mapping tool for the purpose. The approach you take when writing your research proposal could be a source of motivation or a source of anxiety. The writing process would certainly be less daunting if done in a structured and a well-planned manner. Shared here is the general outline for writing a research proposal. Start with the title of the proposal, followed by an abstract. Next is the introduction to the proposal, a review of the literature, an explanation of the research methods proposed for analyzing data, and conclude it with the expected research outcomes. End it with a list of reference. Let's look at a brief explanation of each section. Any research title should be concise and explanatory. Omit any redundant words. For example, the phrase "an investigation of" could be omitted. Titles may be stated such that it implies a functional relationship, where the relationship between independent and dependent variables are clearly indicated. Use of an informative but catchy title can be refreshing to the readers or assessors. An effective title not only attracts the reader's interest, but may also sway the assessor's views favorably towards the student. An abstract is a short, concise, and comprehensive summary that represents your proposed study. It is usually the first part of the proposal read by the examiner to have a general idea of what your study is about. As such, it should be written in such a way that it would capture the examiner's interest and motivate him to want to read your entire proposal. For a research proposal, the abstract should cover the following: a statement of the problem, followed by a brief explanation of the research gaps and the main research objective. Descriptions of the method may include the design procedures, sampling procedures, and any instruments that will be used. Any proposed data analysis tools and procedures may also be included. Enclose it with the expected outcome of the study. Package your proposal in a single paragraph that can carry about 250 words. The main purpose of the introduction is to provide the necessary background or context for your research problem. How to frame the research problem is perhaps the biggest challenge in proposal writing. Avoid framing the research problem in the context of a general, rambling literature review. Instead, place it in the context of a very focused and current research area. This way, the significance of your study becomes evident. The introduction typically begins with a general statement of the problem area, giving focus to a specific research problem, followed by the rationale or justifications for the proposed study. The introduction generally covers the following elements: the research problem from both the practical or managerial and fundamental aspects of the problem must be explicitly and elaborately stated. Present and analyze the practical problem with a high level of clarity. You are expected to explain the nature of the problem broadly and then narrow it to the scope of the investigation or the aspect of the study you expect to make the contribution. Provide the context and set the stage for your research problem in such a way as to show its necessity and importance. Present the rationale of your proposed study and clearly indicate why it is worth doing. Briefly describe the major issues and sub-problems to be addressed by your research. Identify key independent and dependent variables of your study. Alternatively, specify the phenomenon you want to study. Set the limitation or boundaries of your proposed research in order to provide a clear focus. The literature review section in your proposal serves several important functions. First and foremost is to ensure that you are not reinventing the wheel so that you can bring novelty to your research work. By citing related past research in the literature review, you are giving credits to those who have laid the groundwork for your study. Through your critical review of the literature, you are demonstrating a sound knowledge of the research problem. You are also demonstrating your understanding of the theoretical and research issues related to the research problem. You are showing your ability to critically evaluate relevant literature to justify the research gaps. A well-written literature review indicates your ability to integrate and synthesize the existing literature. It provides new theoretical insights or develops a new model as the conceptual framework for your research. It also convinces your reader that your proposed research will be able to make significant contribution to all stakeholders. The methods section informs the examiner how you plan to solve your research problem. It describes the activities necessary for the completion of your project. The guiding principle for writing the methods section is that it should contain sufficient information for the reader to determine whether the methodology you propose is sound. A good proposal should contain sufficient details to allow for replications by other researchers. You are also expected to demonstrate your knowledge of alternative methods and to make the case that your approach is the most appropriate and most valid way to address the research questions. At the proposal stage, you naturally do not have any data yet to analyze. However, you need to have some idea about what kind of data you will be collecting, procedures you will be adopting to collect the data, and what data analysis procedures will be used in order to answer your research questions or test your hypothesis. End your proposal with the expected outcomes of your study. It is important to convince your examiner of the potential impact of your proposed study. Make sure the expected outcomes are realistic and achievable. Put across a sense of enthusiasm and confidence without exaggerating the merits of your proposal. A well-written proposal is one that has the ability to engage readers and examiners and bring out positivity about your proposed study. All sources you cite in your proposal must be properly acknowledged to avoid any risk of plagiarism. Recognize all authors whose work you referred to by listing them at the end of the proposal. There are several styles available to list the references. Refer to your institution's guidelines on which one to follow. The referencing styles available are the APA or American Psychological Association style, the MLA or Modern Language Association, Oxford, Harvard, and Chicago. APA and MLA styles of referencing are commonly used for citing references. APA style is usually used in education, business, and some social sciences and humanities discipline. MLA style is often used in English and media studies. Oxford style is often used in history, philosophy, and classics studies. Harvard and Chicago styles are used by some individual disciplines. If you find this video useful, please subscribe and comment so that more of similar videos can be created.